Look at the majestic panda in its natural environment. Watch as the panda gorges itself on its natural diet of celery. Watch as the panda glides over the majestic plains. As pollution levels recede, the panda bear returns to its native home of Mason, Ohio.
All right, so today I want us to go ahead and go right into our story for today. So turn with me to Matthew 14. Matthew 14 is where we're going to be. To set up the story, I want us to get a little of the background, get a little of the information that had happened just before. And so Jesus was at this point in his ministry where literally thousands of people were following him everywhere he went. I mean, crowds of great size were able to follow him and wanted to listen to what he had to say. And in this particular moment, he was gathering thousands of people down by the Sea of Galilee. And he's there, and he brings in these people, and they are there for hours upon end, to the point where he has to feed them somehow. And so they take some bread and some fish, and they turn it, just a little bit of bread and fish, and turn it to feed the entire group. I don't know how they did it, because if it was me, I would have ate all 5 loaves of bread and both the fish. It would have been so easy to be able to do. So at this point, we're where Jesus and the disciples are about to depart from each other. So that scene had just taken place. And so Jesus sends the disciples out in front of him. And so this is where we kind of pick up in the story. So turn with me, Matthew 14:24. That's where we're going to be. The story starts a couple verses sooner, but I explained a little bit of that part. So Matthew 14:24. Let's go ahead and start reading there. But the boat was already considerable distance from the land, the boat filled with the disciples. So it was a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. And during the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, crying out in fear. So here's the thought of this. These disciples literally hours before just witnessed a miracle. Jesus turned loaves of bread and fish for thousands of people. And these people recognize something's walking on the water, and yet they're like, "It's a ghost. How could this be Jesus? There's no possible way." I'm pretty sure at some point, if you're some of the closest people following Jesus, you'd have some sense of, like, this is him. Let's pick up back in the story, though. That's just a sidebar in verse 27. So verse 27 says, "But Jesus immediately said to them, 'Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid.' For if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, crying out, "Lord, save me." Another pause moment here. Peter, being one of the closest disciples to Jesus, a part of his inner circle, has this moment of giving in to fear. A simple wind causes him to sink from being on top of the water and sinking down in the water. You see, this dude who was the closest person you would think would be able to follow Jesus. Let's just pick up back in verse 31. Verse 31, it says, "Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. 'You of little faith,' he said, 'why did you doubt?' And when they climbed in the boat, the wind died. Then those who were in the boat worshiped him, saying, 'Truly, You are the Son of God. Welcome to this episode of Jesus Myth Flusters, where we take a science experiment and also get flustered by what Jesus did. It's going to be great. For today's experience, we got a pool. And for the pool, what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to walk on water. And not like these people. But we're going to try to be like Peter and Jesus, because there has to be a science behind it. There's no way that this miracle took place. So let's go ahead and let's try this out. So apparently, makes sense, but Jesus did perform that miracle with Peter, and I cannot walk on water. The only thing it gave me, good mold back here, new hairdo. Yep, that's it. So no need to see if I can actually walk on water. I can't. But in this case, the true difficulty that Peter faced, we get to see that. Like, in all honesty, while Peter was on the middle of the Sea of Galilee, wind and waves were probably good ways to fall and stumble. And I don't know how many times I've caught myself shaking in my own faith by the simple sight of something that could hurt me. And it's the kind of thing where, you spot the bully that's coming to you, and the bully may not even harm you at all, but you're so scared of the bully that it cripples you. It lets you do nothing. And in this situation, Peter is me. Peter is my life. And I don't often want to admit it, but it is. When I think of this story in the Bible, I actually relate the story a lot to somebody, of my friend Mike from a couple years ago. And Mike wasn't really a Christian. Did he go to church? Yeah. Was he around doing like Christian things? Sure. But he didn't really believe. We met and talked several times, and kind of just hung out. He got sick at one point, not like a bad, like deathly sick. He got I think mono or something like that. And so I went over to his house to play NHL hockey, like the video game, with him, and kind of get to talk with him more. And so we're gearing up for a time at camp, and so we're heading towards camp, and he was down there, and I could tell that once we got down there, this week was going to change Mike. And Mike started going through this week of camp, and you could just tell the difference that he was making. And so it was some time, and he started talking to me. He's like, I'm struggling, because how do I know that God is real? This is my shaking moment. Like, why? How do I know God is real? And I was like, Mike, it's something, here's the evidence, but, it's also, you have to have the faith yourself. It's like, Mike, it's about to be quiet time, so, go off, do your thing. And so Mike was able to go off and have quiet time. I left, and I started doing my own thing. It was about to be lunch. And so I'm getting ready, high-fiving people at lunch, saying, hey, what's up? How was your week? Or how was your day? Well, how was quiet time? How was the morning worship? Stuff like that. And then our director comes up to me. Her name's Kim, and Kim's like, Cody, there is a bird outside on the front of this car. Can you take care of it? I was like, sure. Sure, there's no problem. I'll take care of it. I mean, like, what? There's a bird? And she's like, a dead bird. I was like, what? So she's like, go get the staff and, get somebody to take care of it. I was like, okay. So I went to go get the staff, and instead I decided to do it myself. I got some gloves, got a bag, went out. Sure enough, on the front of this car, surrounded by 50 people looking at a dead bird, is a dead bird on the front of this grill. And so I'm looking at this, and I put it in the bag, and I walk over to the trash can, and by the garbage can, a little bit of ways away, I see Mike, and Mike's not doing well. Mike is bawling, crying. What the heck? So I go up to him, Mike, what's happening? And he was like, no, you don't understand, Cody. You don't get it. And I was like, no, Mike, what's going on? He's like, that bird that you just got and you threw away? I just saw you throw it away. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I prayed for that. I was like, you prayed for a dead bird? That doesn't make any sense. And he was like, No, you don't understand. You see, you told me to talk to God in my quiet time. That's what you told me to do. And so I did. And I said to God, like, God, I need a sign. I need something. And I said the words to him out loud, Cody. I said to him, even if it's a bird from the sky, let me see you. And Cody, you don't understand. Kim didn't find that bird. I found the bird. Like, God did that for me. And God showed me that. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. Like, God was able to answer that prayer exactly to Mike in the way that he asked. And you see, Mike was my one. And Mike was able to have this amazing experience and find this bird. And I didn't expect it to be this way. You see, wind and waves may shake your faith, but God is going to provide the help you need. You see, he provided it for Mike. Mike was my one. Mike was the one that I was praying for constantly, leading up to this camp, even after this camp. You see, Mike later that week was able to get baptized by me and his sister, and it was the most amazing thing ever. You see, trusting God isn't about just saying, I trust you. For Peter, I'm sure that he said, I trust you to Jesus multiple times. You see, it's about playing it out and actually living out a faith of trust. So I ask you, who is your one? Who is the one that you're helping call out of the boat? God is using you to kind of, have the strength to kind of help lead a person. Who is your one? Mike was my one. Who is it for you? I know it's a little nerve-wracking to kind of think, who is my one? What does that even look like? And I encourage you right now, literally, I don't care who you are, if you're an adult, if you're a student, write their name in the comments. Just the first name. You don't have to write the last name. Write down your one. We'd love to pray over those people. And we'd love to encourage you guys as you go through this. And so there's your next step. Message your one. Encourage your one. Figure out a time to FaceTime with your one. I don't know what that looks like, but find the person that needs the help right now. And you might be telling yourself right now, I don't have a one because the one is me. And that's okay. I'm super glad that you're able to point that out. If the one is you, I want you to go ahead, send Christ Church a message. Message me at cody.scroggins@ourchristchurch.com. Give us a communication. We want to help give you the resources and kind of the tools that you need. And if you're the one, I'm so glad you took that step. And let's talk more about what that looks like. So reach out in any way, even on our Instagrams. So right now, I just want to pray over the people who are deciding, I am the one. Also the people that are saying, I have a one. Here's my one in my life. So let me pray real quick for those people, and then we'll move on. Hey, dear God, I just thank you for giving us the care we need. God, you have called us out of the boat. It's time to make a step. It's time to do something that's crazy. And so, God, I know that for some of us right now, it's hard, but we're saying, hey, we're the one. We are the person, we're Peter, that needs help right now, needs saved right now, that needs comfort right now. God, please provide that for us. And on the other hand, God, I just want to pray over the people that have said, I have a one, and I've been praying for this person, and I want to encourage this person this week. I want to just commend them. Great job, God. Please give them the tools that they need. And you're going to work no matter what we do, and we thank you for that. So I pray. Amen. See you guys soon. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining us today. So, hey, this week is going to be an awesome week. We got Movie Monday. As always, we have our Instagram poll already out, so check out that movie. Lazy Lunch is happening this week, Tuesday and Thursday, so you're going to want to join us for that. And follow us on Instagram, as always, HSM_CC and CC_MSM58. That's going to be where it happens. Panda is already following us on Instagram, so that's a good thing. So go ahead and do that as well. Hey, for this week, I am actually not going to even attempt to do worship at all because pandas don't sing. Fun fact. Watch Kung Fu Panda. I don't know if Kung Fu Panda sings, but I'm going to say no. So for this week, go ahead and join me for the next part. We're going to go worship together with our families. So, hey, join me in worship.